In the heart of a whispering meadow, where the moonbeams danced on dewdrops, lived a tiny firefly named Flicker. Unlike his brethren, whose lights pulsed with a steady, joyous rhythm, Flicker's glow was a fragile, trembling thing, a soft, melancholic blue. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the other fireflies would rise in a dazzling swarm, painting the twilight with streaks of gold. They would laugh and chase each other, their lights weaving a brilliant tapestry against the velvet sky. But Flicker would stay behind, hidden amongst the cool blades of grass, his little light a lonely sapphire in a sea of green. He watched them, a quiet ache in his heart. He saw how their lights intertwined, creating constellations of their own. He heard their cheerful chirps, a symphony of belonging that he felt he could never join. His light, so different, so sorrowful, felt like a secret he had to keep. He worried it would dim their brilliance, that his blue sadness would extinguish their golden joy. So, he kept his distance, his world a solitary one, illuminated only by his own pale, quavering light. One night, as the meadow symphony reached its peak, Flicker noticed something unusual. Perched on a broad toadstool, at the edge of the clearing was Luna, the oldest and wisest moth in the meadow. Her wings, like powdered silver, shimmered under the moonlight, and her large, dark eyes seemed to hold the wisdom of 1,000 nights. She wasn't looking at the golden swarm. She was looking directly at him, at his small, hidden, blue light. Gathering a sliver of courage, Flicker flew towards her, his light trembling more than ever. He landed softly on the edge of the toadstool. "Why do you watch me?" he chirped, his voice barely a whisper. Luna's antennae twitched gently. "Because, little one," she said, her voice as soft as dandelion fluff, "your light tells a story. While the others sing of joy, yours sings of depth. It speaks of the quiet moments, the beauty in melancholy, the peace in solitude." Flicker was taken aback. He had always seen his light as a flaw, a mark of his otherness. "But it's blue," he stammered. "It's sad." Luna smiled, a gentle, knowing smile. "Gold is the color of the sun, bright and bold," she explained. "But blue is the color of the twilight sky, of the deep, still pond. It holds mysteries and dreams. Your light is not a lament, little firefly. It is a poem." As she spoke, a gentle breeze rustled through the meadow, carrying her words like seeds. A few of the golden fireflies, drawn by the moth's serene presence, broke away from their dance. They hovered near the toadstool, their lights pulsing with curiosity. They saw Flicker's blue light, not as something strange, but as something new, something intriguing. One of them, a bright firefly named Glimmer, floated closer. "Your light is beautiful," she chirped. "It's like a piece of the night sky fell down to the meadow." Flicker's light flickered, a little brighter this time, a blush of lavender at its edges. He had spent so long hiding his light, convinced of its inadequacy, that he had never considered it could be seen as beautiful. Luna continued her gentle lesson. "The meadow needs all its colors," she murmured, her gaze sweeping over the golden swarm and then settling back on Flicker. "The brilliant gold for celebration, and the tranquil blue for reflection. A world of only one color would be a lesser world. True brilliance is not in uniformity, but in the harmony of different lights shining together." Inspired by Luna's words, Flicker felt a warmth spread through him, a feeling he hadn't experienced before. It wasn't the boisterous joy of the others, but a quiet, steady hope. He lifted off the toadstool, his blue light now a little steadier, a little more confident. He didn't try to join the frenetic dance of the golden swarm. Instead, he began his own slow, graceful flight, tracing patterns of deep, calming blue against the darkness. He flew low over the slumbering flowers, his light casting a gentle glow on their closed petals. He danced over the still surface of the pond, his reflection joining the stars scattered across the water. He was not shouting with light, he was whispering. And the meadow listened. Slowly, something magical began to happen. A few of the golden fireflies, intrigued by his peaceful ballet, slowed their own pace. They started to weave their golden trails around his blue ones. They didn't try to change his color, nor he theirs. Instead, they created something entirely new. Streaks of gold spiraled around ribbons of sapphire. The frantic energy of the swarm was tempered by his calm, and his quiet solitude was brightened by their warmth. The meadow was transformed. It was no longer just a canvas of celebration, but a masterpiece of emotion. There were bursts of golden laughter and long, thoughtful strokes of blue poetry. The fireflies learned that their lights could do more than just shine. They could communicate. They could share not just joy, but also wonder, contemplation, and a quiet, shared understanding. From that night on, Flicker was no longer the firefly who hid in the grass. He was Flicker, the poet of the meadow. His blue light became a beacon for any creature feeling lost or lonely, a reminder that there was beauty in their quietness, that their unique light had a purpose. He learned that his sorrow was not a weakness but a source of empathy, allowing him to connect with the world in a way that purely joyful could not. He still had moments of melancholy. His light was, after all, a reflection of his soul. But it was no longer a lament. It was a song of a little firefly who learned that true belonging doesn't come from being the same, but from bravely shining your own unique light, no matter its color. And in the grand, sparkling symphony of the meadow, his quiet, blue note was, at last, perfectly and beautifully in tune. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales from our enchanted meadow. Shine on.